Hello, and welcome to another edition of Beaver Finance. I'm your host, Robert T. Anderson. In this video, we're here to talk to you about getting your finances in order before you buy a house. So you want to watch this whole video to get prepared in order to buy your first piece of property. In this video, we will talk to you about the top 5 practical ways you can get your finances in order before you purchase your first home. So you won't want to miss this one. So before you buy your first home, you want to conduct a budget. So whether you're buying the property by yourself, with a spouse, or somebody else you know, you're going to want to create a budget and understand your current spending as well as what all your expenses will be once you're in the new property. You want to get a sense if you can afford to live in that property. So first, start to list out all the expected expenses you're going to have, as well as the expenses you currently have. So you can run 2 different budgets, one for your current scenario and one for your projected expenses in that property. So here you will understand what it'll be like cash flow wise to get some more confidence and understanding on what your cash flow will look like once you purchase that property. So this will be important because this will also get you to think more about, okay, do I have any other debts that might impact my mortgage? What does that look like? And so you'll be more prepared when you talk to your lender as well. The more prepared you are, the more confidence they'll have in you, the better file they can put together, and the better odds you'll get approved, which we'll talk more about that later on in this video. So second tip is you're going to want to check out your credit. You're going to want to know your credit score. So first of all, you can use a few different services to do so. These days they're for free. I'll put 2 links in the description below. Please check them out. The first one is called Borrowwell. So they let you check your credit for free. And the second one, and you may have heard of this one, is Credit Karma. So I'll also leave a link for them in my description as well. It's also free. So here you will see not only a credit score, but you'll also get to see your credit report. So if you do have any debts, they'll show up on this credit report, or if you've recently paid off a debt, you can check to see if it still shows up. Also, what you'll see in this report is your recent credit inquiries. So what's a credit inquiry? It's anytime you've sought out credit from any institution. So whether that's applying for a credit card, a line of credit, a new vehicle, perhaps furniture or appliances, you name it, any type of credit activity and inquiry will typically show up in that report. Now, credit inquiries only show up for so many years. If there's anything from, say, 10 years ago, it may not show up anymore. So very important to check your credit score. You want to make sure, you're at least 680 and up, ideally in the 700s. And, if you really want to have good success purchasing your home, if you can be in the 800s, that would be even better. You want to be able to have access to the best mortgage rates, and the better your score, the stronger your credit report, the better chances you'll have. So understanding your credit is very important. Second, you want to save for your down payment. So you have a few different options here. First option, you could use a checking account. You could use a savings account. Now, a savings account won't pay you much in terms of interest these days. Interest rates are very low. However, having your down payment in a separate account from all your other expenses is preferred. So a savings account can still be a good option in terms of separating your money from temptation. Other options, so in Canada, we have tax-free savings accounts, which is similar to, I believe, a Roth IRA in the States, where in Canada, in TFSAs, you can put money in the tax-free savings account for the purposes of a down payment or really any purchase you have, and or also use it for retirement. So a TFSA can be a great option to use to save for a down payment, because also when you withdraw that money, it is tax-free and you can recontribute that money in the following calendar year. Now we have a lot of videos on TFSAs, so you can check those videos out on our YouTube page after this video. And lastly, in Canada, we also have the option for the RRSP home buyers plan. So the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, home buyers plan. So this is a program that allows you to contribute funds to your retirement account, gain a deduction for those contributions, and then as long as the money's been in there for at least 90 days, you can withdraw up to $35,000 for the purposes of a down payment. Now that money, of course, does need to be repaid within 15 years. And we have a video, of course, on that program in more detail that you could check out on our YouTube page after this video. So lots of different ways to save for a down payment. One other option that I'm seeing more and more these days are family members getting involved and providing gifts. So essentially, parents either topping up their children's down payments or providing it all together. And so that would be considered a gift. And typically, at least in Canada, gifts need to be included with a letter stating where it's from and the purposes of that money. So a gift could be another option from a family member. Next, you're going to want a pre-approval. So you may be tempted to start looking at houses right away, which until your ducks are in a row, you're going to want to make sure that you speak to your bank or your mortgage broker preferably to go through what's called a pre-approval process. So you essentially give them authorization to check that credit report, as well provide proof of income and assets, and they put together a pre-approval, either with themselves as the lender or to a number of lenders if it's a mortgage broker. So getting a pre-approval is something that you're going to want to do before our last step here that we have for you today, because you want to make sure you know how much you can afford. Now, typically what we recommend is that the number that you receive from that pre-approval from your lender, you're not going to want to typically borrow that full amount and max out in terms of what you can borrow for a house, because that's going to put a lot of pressure and stress on you, and we want to make sure we're spending less than we make, and if we're spending too much on housing, we're not going to have enough money for other things we like to do, and also ensuring that we're saving and building wealth, which we had just talked about building wealth in our previous video. So you can check that out on our YouTube page after this as well. So that leads us into our last tip for you, which is speak to a realtor. So if you have a realtor, that's great. You've probably already had some preliminary conversations with them. If you need a realtor, I would say speak to somebody you know who can give you a referral to a local realtor. Somebody that they've hopefully worked with before, that has a track record. You want someone that does volume You don't want someone that sells a couple houses a year part-time. You want an expert, a negotiator, someone that knows the area you're going to be in, and preferably somebody who's in and around your age and is relatable, would be the ideal realtor to work with. So the realtor's going to ask you, of course, what you like, what areas, what type of housing you're looking for. Are you looking for a starter home? Are you looking for a family home, rental property? They're really the experts on helping you determine what's best for you. But they're also going to ask you for your pre-approval, or if you skipped that step, they're going to want to make sure that you get pre-approved before they start putting in offers on homes for you. So that's why you're smart in watching this video first to learn the top 5 tips to get ready to purchase your first home. So if you've watched any of our previous videos, you know we like to include bonus tips. So without further ado, we have our bonus tip for you. A bonus tip today is make sure you try to put at least 20% down on the property that you're buying, especially if you live in Canada. Why is that? Well, you want to avoid what's called CMHC premiums. So that's Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It's a crown corporation in Canada that insures mortgages under 20% down payment for the purposes of default. So it protects the lender in case you default on your mortgage. So all mortgages typically that are under 20%, the homeowners pay that premium. It all goes into a pot, and CMHC insures those mortgages. So you will want to avoid those premiums. They can be lofty. So say you only put 5% down, which is the minimum. You will then qualify for this insured mortgage and required to pay, could be as high as 4% CMHC premiums. So we'll include a link in the bio, in the description, on how to calculate your CMHC premiums, but also ideally you'll want to try to avoid them. So save up a larger down payment and use some of the steps we talked about in this video. So if you've missed any of our previous videos, you can check them out after this. Our last video, obviously we talked about the top 5 ways to build wealth. Real estate, of course, made that list. So if you want to hear more about that, please go check out that video next. Don't forget to like this video if you got some value today. We hope you're now prepared to purchase your first home and get that process started. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. That way you'll get notified on future videos. We've got a lot of great content coming out each week, so you won't want to miss that. And of course, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Beaver Finance. Again, we have lots of daily content, a lot of great value, and you won't want to miss it. Question of the day. Let us know below if you've started saving for a house, or if you already have one and perhaps maybe looking for another property, or can at least share your experience on that first purchase. Help start a conversation below. We want to hear from you, or if you've got questions for us, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.